All right, welcome back YouTube, welcome back to another video. If you are new here, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. If you are a member of this channel and you are a frequent subscriber of this channel, welcome back. You feel me? It's your boy X Reaper, and today I know you clicked on this video because either two things: you just really like me, or you want to know how to pass your pre-trip inspection for Swift so you can get your CDL. And I'm here to help y'all. If I don't know, I just graduated 3 months ago from Swift. I've been driving now for like 3 months now, so 6 months in total that I've been doing a pre-trip inspection, and I feel confident enough to bring you guys this video to help you guys. So let's get it. First things first, I do want to say this is the good part about trucking. I am in Palm Beach, Florida right now. Y'all know I'm a Philly kid, you feel me? But I love Florida. Like anytime I come here, I've been here like 3 years in a row since I've been an adult, and I love it here. But we in Palm Beach. But other than that, let's start with the front of the truck, okay? This is the easiest part of the test. If you remember what you're saying, you on the road to getting your CDL, all right? All right, what you want to do first? You see them lights at the top? Don't call them lights. You want to say your lenses. These are your lenses. You want to make sure your lenses are not cracked, broken, or damaged, and are the proper color. Now, you want to look at the front of the vehicle. You want to look at it, left, right, whatever. You want to say, while you're in front of this vehicle, that your vehicle is leveled from front to back and side to side. A leaning vehicle could indicate suspension issues. All right, say that. Once again, you want to look at it. You want to look at it left, right, front to back, side to side, and say a leaning vehicle could indicate suspension issues. You feel me? So, also too, you don't have to do it once you open the engine. You can get on the ground, look under there, do whatever you do. I'm not getting on the ground right now, but if you want to look under there and say that you have no leaks, puddles, you feel me? You got no leaks, whatever. You just want to say you got no leaks and puddles. All right? And then you also want to say, like I said, your monitoring devices are not cracked, broken, or damaged, and are properly secured. And if you do that, that's just step one of passing your pre-trip inspection. So we're going to do that. The rich white people looking at me. But we're going to do that and get in there. All right. For starters, if you anything like me and you are going to Swift for your CDL, I don't know what truck they're going to have you tested in, but I tested in a International. Now, all these trucks are built differently, obviously. You got Freightliners, Kenworth, and Swift has just now started to carry Peterbilt. Now, I don't know what truck you're going to be testing it, but all these trucks is different, so just try to identify exactly what you can, as much as you can. So, on this side, we got our hoses, you feel me? Your hoses have no ABC, no abrasions, bubbles, or cuts, or leaks, all right? This is your windshield washer fluid. You know, you want to make sure that the cap is securely mounted, and you do have windshield washer fluid in there, and it's not frozen or anything. Then we're going to go over to the driver's side, and that's where you guys are going to really have to pay attention to this video, because the engine, especially if you know you got no history about mechanics and shit, you don't know what you're looking at. So, and you know what? I'm not even going to say that because, you know why? Diesel engines is totally different from regular engines. So if you've never seen a diesel engine before, or you never worked on a diesel engine before, pay attention to this next segment of the video. All right, we're gonna go over to the driver's side now. All right, now for the driver's side, you want to point out that your coolant is between the add and full lines. If you're in International, your coolant will be on the other side, so you can say it on the other side, but we're in a Freightliner right now, so my coolant is on my driver's side. You want to point out that your coolant level is between the add and full lines. It's securely mounted. There's no cracks. It's not cracked, broken, or damaged. All right. Your engine oil dipstick. You want to pull it. You don't have to do it on the test, at least at Swift. You want to pull it out, put it back in, pull it out. Expect that it's between the add and full lines. And if you say that correctly, you will get a point. This is not on the test, but it's good to know. This is your engine oil cap. Make sure it is securely mounted. It's not loose. You know. Is on there tight. This is your power steering fluid. You want to inspect that it's between the add and full line. It's not cracked, broken, or damaged, and there's no leaks. And you want to say for your hoses, you have no ABC, no abrasions, bubbles, or cuts. All right. And if you say, you know, all the coolant levels and all that stuff, right? You know, you should be on the road to getting your CDL. Now, like I said in the beginning of the video, you can say this once your hood is still closed. You look underneath the truck. make sure you got no puddles. You got no puddles, leaks, or anything fluid on the ground. All right, you want to make sure that you have none of that on the ground. All right, so what I like to do is I like to remember it and just say it as I go along. So all visible connecting links, arms, and rods are not missing any nuts, bolts, or cotter keys, and it's not cracked, broken, or damaged, and it's securely mounted. Now, if you do it like I do it, you should memorize this stuff easily, right? Now, this is your gearbox. Your gearbox is securely mounted, not cracked, broken, or damaged. This is your power steering. It's not cracked, broken, or damaged, right? Now, like I said, you're not missing any nuts, bolts, or cotter keys. Now, you don't, as long as you point it, your bolts and stuff are going to be alongside here. Let me see if y'all can see that. All right, I just realized y'all cannot see that, so I am going to put a picture on the screen now. Those are your nuts and bolts, and those are your cotter keys. All right, these are your brake lines. You want to make sure you have no abrasions, bubbles, or cuts, and you are able to supply air to the brakes. All right, now your spring mounts and shocks. These big ass things right here. I'm gonna put a picture on the screen because you can't see it. These are your spring mounts. You want to make sure they're not shifted, cracked, broke, damaged, or loose. Now, this right here, I'm gonna put a picture on the screen once again. These are your leaf springs. You want to make sure it's not cracked, broken, or damaged, and you're not missing any leaf springs, or they're not shifted. Make sure they're not shifted. Now, this is your shock absorber. You just want to make sure that it's not cracked, broken, or damaged, or leaking, and it is securely mounted. If you say all them things, you're on your way to get your CDL. Now, what you want to do, once you're under here and you're starting to talk about your brakes, you want to look down here. For all the females, it's a big circle. It's just a big circle, and it's silver, okay? It might be a little dirty, but it's silver. Now, you just want to make sure your brakes are free of contamination, such as oil and grease, which could affect your braking capabilities. All right, so this is exactly what you want to say. My brake lining, drums, and disc are free of contamination, such as oil and grease, which could affect my braking capability. You say that, you're on your road to get your CDL. Come on, man, I was stressing about this shit, and this shit just too easy now. All right, for your tires, you want to talk about inflation. Using a thread depth gauge, I would inspect on my drive tires that I had at least over 4 over 30 seconds. I know that was a little tongue twister for y'all. All right, I'm gonna say it one more time. For inflation, you want to inspect that your drive tires have at least over 4 over 30 seconds using a thread depth gauge. All right, using a thread depth gauge. And for the condition of the tire, you want to make sure it's no cuts. No cuts exposing body piles. You want to make sure it's no cuts. All right. Once again, for my ladies or my fellas, this is your side wall. All right, for your tire, this is your side wall. You want to make sure there's no bulges, bubbles, or cuts. You feel me? You want to make sure that this shit is basically, you want to make sure this shit is not fucked up. Because if this shit go, then you might be on the road to death. All right, and also on the road to death, you want to make sure you have no mismatch diameters. All right, for dual tires. So that's what you want to make sure. Now, your rims, you want to make sure they're not cracked, broken, or damaged. Your holes in your rims are not elongated or out of round. Now, don't ask me. I don't know. I don't know what would happen if your hoses are out of round. I don't know. Don't ask me. All right, I'm still learning. All right, these are your lug nuts. All right, on your test, you want to say, I'm not missing any lug nuts. They're not cracked, broken, or damaged. You feel me? You always want to touch what you're talking about so you get the point. So you're not missing any lug nuts. They're not cracked, broken, or damaged. And there's no shiny threads that could indicate looseness. That's what you want to say. And then your valve stem. Everybody should know what a valve stem is, especially if you grew up and you had a bike and you had to put air in your tire. A valve stem is just where you put your air in your tire, all right? Make it simple. It's not cracked, broken, or damaged. And, you know, it could supply air to the tire. And then boom. Now, if you want to believe me or not, but that is literally everything that you need to know under the hood. You feel me? Now, when you get with other people, there's going to be other people telling you that, like, okay, check the belt, make sure there's no free play in the belt. But I'm telling you what you need to know to get your CDL, and you worry about the rest of that shit later. You feel me? We all here. Well, I was there to get my CDL. I got my CDL. All right. Like, I don't know where y'all at. If y'all at Richmond, Craig might have hit y'all with the, I got my CDL, bub. It's up to you to get yours. But that's everything you need to know under the engine. And we're gonna move to the side of the tractor and trailer now. All right, now we're gonna get to the, your driver's side of your tractor and trailer. Now, if you wanna pass on your first try, do everything I'm about to say, because you're gonna get most of the points right here. Now, as regular drivers, we know these as mirrors. At Swift, we call them monitoring devices, okay? You wanna make sure your monitoring devices are not cracked, broken, or damaged, and are securely mounted, all right? Your battery door. You wanna make sure it's not cracked, broken, or damaged. It operates properly, all right? Now, what you wanna do is, you wanna come in here, you wanna look at your battery cables. Make sure it has no abrasions, bubbles, or cuts. Anything with wires on your CDL pre-trip, make sure you say it's no abrasions, bubbles, or cuts, all right? Sometimes you have to throw a little extra stuff in there. So with the wires, you wanna say it's no abrasions, bubbles, or cuts. And then you also wanna say that there's no sign of excessive corrosion, all right? Now, this is not on a pre-trip test, but I just learned this. You always wanna make sure you drain your air system. So there's a little wire in here that you pull and it'll drain your air system. You wanna make sure you do it every day. I just learned this, so I'm gonna do that real quick. All right, this is your gearbox. You wanna make sure you got 3 reflective triangles in there that are not cracked, broken, or damaged. And you wanna make sure you have spare fuses. You can say, I have spare fuses in here, and if they're not in here, they're in the cab, all right? You say that, you're on the road to get your CDL. This is your DEF tank. It clearly say, no diesel. Don't put diesel in here. I don't know what happens to you if you put diesel in there. But this is your DEF tank. You want to make sure that the tank is securely mounted, it's not cracked, broken, or damaged. You want to look under, there's no leaks, and you want to make sure the cap is not cracked, broken, or damaged, and it is securely mounted on there. All right. Now I'm gonna show y'all the diesel tank. Okay. All right. This is your diesel tank on a Freightliner. I don't know if it would be different on any other trucks, but you just want to make sure it is securely mounted. There's no leaks, it's not cracked, broken, or damaged. The cap is not cracked, broken, or damaged, and it is securely mounted on there. All right, now let's talk about these electric, service, and emergency airlines. All right, now when you're talking about your emergency, your service, and your electrical airlines, you want to say that they are securely mounted. There's no abrasions, bubbles, or cuts. They're not dragging against any part of the tractor or trailer, and they are not dragging on the ground, okay? Make sure it's not dragging on the ground. And I'm gonna throw something in there that's not on a pre-trip inspection, but you always want to check it when you out there solo dolo after you get off the road with your mentor. He might tell you this, he might not. There's a service sticker on here that says when this trailer is due for service. You always want to check that, make sure it's legit. And sometimes your registration could be right here, and it's little sometimes it's like a metal little panel. You just flick it down, lift it up, your registration should be in there, close it back up. Or sometimes with these older trailers, like this is a 2013, your inspection or your registration will be in this little I guess you want to call it like a little pocket, but you just twist that off, whatever. Now, sorry to I just wanted to tell y'all that because that is something that's not on a pre-trip inspection, but you should always look for. Your frame. You want to make sure it's not cracked, broken, or damaged, and no illegal welds whatsoever. All right? If you say all that, you will get a point for your electrical airlines and your frame. Now, I'm going to show y'all, because on the Freightliner, it's totally different. And also, too, just in case I forget anything, I am reviewing the paper so I can make sure I'm telling y'all the right information. Now, I won't lie, I'm a little rusty because once you get out here solo dolo, listen, ex any trucker, you're not going to be doing a pre-trip inspection for real every fucking day. You're going to know what you're looking for. Once you get the basics and knowledge, you're going to know what you're looking for. Then after that, you're just going to be able to do that shit within 10 minutes. Not even 10 minutes, maybe 5 minutes. Now, this right here, the fifth wheel, little short story, I went to go take my test the first time, and I totally said some things wrong on this fifth wheel, and I completely failed. So I'm going to be really careful of what I tell y'all, and I want y'all to listen to me clearly, right? Now, I'm gonna bring the camera, and y'all not going to see my face. I'm going to point things out to y'all because there's a lot of things with this fifth wheel that you must know in order to pass your test, at least at Swift. You must know and say all these things correctly, especially if you're testing with Mike. So let's get to it. I had to take my phone off the mount because there's some things under here that you need to really get right. Now, most of this stuff when you on the driver's side, but I just had to come under here so y'all could know exactly what you're talking about. Now, using a thread depth gauge, inspect that there's a minimum of 4 over 32 seconds or 30 seconds on your drive tires, right? And you have 2 over 30 seconds on your drive/trailer tires on all major thread grooves. Now that's talking about these tires and those tires at the back. But like I said, you can say all of this when you at the front. All right. Now, I want to talk about this fifth wheel. This fifth wheel will get you out of here, especially if you're testing that Swift. If you don't say the right things about this shit and you just still can't memorize this shit come your test date, just go ahead and like apply to McDonald's. Put the fries in the bag, bro. All right. So look, you see them 2 pins? You want to say that your pins are fully engaged. You want to say that the fifth wheel is securely mounted to the fifth wheel platform. All right, that's what you want to say. You want to say that the fifth wheel skid plate is securely mounted to the fifth wheel platform. There are no cracks, breaks, or excessive wear. The skid plate is properly lubricated. Meaning by that, when this trailer is off, this skid plate has to have lubrication. And maybe later in the video, I'll show y'all the lubrication that goes on here. But that's not really, it's your job to make sure it's lubricated, but it's also the shop job to make sure that it's proper lubrication on there to last you a while once you get your new truck. Now, we're going to go under the trailer, right? And I'm going to show y'all the kingpin. The kingpin is that black thing. Pause. It's the black long thing. Pause. Hold on. Pause, all right? But the kingpin is in place and is not bent, damaged, or worn. The apron is not cracked, bent, or broken. The trailer is laying flat on the skid plate and there is no gap between the apron and skid plate. Now, what they mean by is no gap between the apron and skid plate, you want to see no daylight. And this is the gap they talking about. You don't want to see no daylight. You don't want to see the other side of your, you don't want to see your passenger side. You don't want to see that. It has to be securely flat on there. No gap whatsoever. If it's a gap, I'm pretty sure your ass going to go flying down the highway. Or your trailer is, at least. And now you want to look underneath. You want to look underneath your trailer. You want to make sure that there's no holes, no illegal welds, and it is able to contain cargo. Just how you knock out a bunch of shit, right? Now, you want to say your landing gear and clearance. The pads are fully raised. You see, they're fully raised. It's not cracked, broken, or damaged. And the landing gear support frame is not cracked, broken, or damaged. All right, now after moving on from the fifth wheel and your landing gear pads, you can talk about this trailer anytime you want, okay? Y'all don't have to go exactly how I'm going. If you remember it, say it. If you see it right then and there, say it. If you say it, you get a point. If you don't say it, then you might get points reducted and you might fail. So, this red and white tape, right? Like the American flag a little bit. But this is your reflective tape. You want to say that it's not cracked, broken, or damaged, and at least 75% DOT visible. You want to do that alongside this whole trailer. You got some reflective tape on the back. You want to go to your passenger side and do it on the passenger side too. But now we're going to make our way to the middle of the trailer because it's an important light that you need to know, in order to get your point. All right, now this right here is your marker light, right? You just want to make sure it's not cracked, broken, or damaged, and it is the proper color. Simple. With all the lights on the truck that work and come on, you just want to make sure that they are not cracked, broken, or damaged, and they are the proper color. All right, and if this is not the easiest part of the pre-trip inspection to remember, it's easy. These are your tandem release pins. I don't know if y'all can see it, but there's a little pin right here. That's your tandem release pin. You just want to make sure, just say that the tandem release pins are not cracked, broken, or damaged, and are fully engaged. And let's see right here. Can y'all see that? This right here, your tandem release pin. You pull it out, it'll slide the trailer. It'll slide the trailer back and forth, just to even out the weight. But you just want to make sure that the tandem release pin is in the lock position and it's not cracked, broken, or damaged, and it operates properly. All right, like I said, you want to make sure that your reflective tape on the back of your trailer is not cracked, broken, or damaged, and it is the proper color. You want to make sure your lights are not cracked, broken, or damaged, and are the proper color. These are your lenses. Got lenses at the top. You want to make sure you're not cracked, broken, or damaged, and are the proper color. And that is everything for the back of the trailer that you should know for your pre-trip inspection to pass your CDL test. All right, your landing gear crank handle, right? You want to make sure it's not cracked, broken, or damaged. It operates properly. And also, key for this, you want to make sure that the fifth wheel is positioned back properly enough to safely clear turns, right? That's it. That's it for the landing gear crank handle. That's all you need to know. Once again, it's not cracked, broken, or damaged. It operates properly, and the fifth wheel is positioned back properly enough to clear turns. All right? All right. Now, I hope I was able to help you guys on your outside pre-trip inspection. Let me know if y'all want a part 2. I probably will do a NCAP pre-trip inspection so you guys can know how to do that too. But let me know in the comment section down below if this video helped. Let me know if you guys go to a different school, and let me know if they do anything differently. But like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope I was able to help you guys pursue your dreams. And I will see you guys on the NCAP pre-trip inspection on my next video. See y'all later.